The knock came at 11:07 p.m. Not loud, careful, like he was afraid of waking the truth. I opened the door and saw my neighbor's face, ashen, apologetic, already rehearsing regret. Behind him, the hallway light flickered. His hands shook. "Your wife is at my house," he said. A pause. I don't know how to say this, but I didn't wait. The night air cut my lungs as I crossed the lawn. Each step felt measured, like I was walking into a scene already written. I remember thinking how quiet everything was, how the world didn't care. Inside his house, the smell hit first. Wine. Perfume I recognized. Then the tableau. His wife stood rigid near the staircase, phone still in her hand. My wife was on the floor. Pale. Unconscious. A fallen glass bleeding red into the rug. When he ran in behind me, his wife turned. She looked at me like a judge who had already reached a verdict. And in that moment, before anyone spoke, something inside me went perfectly still. They said words, I remember that much. Explanations, apologies, fragments of a story that had been alive longer than I knew. I stood there, nodding, absorbing, cataloging. I watched my wife breathe, watched the neighbor avoid my eyes, watched his wife tremble with a fury so clean it felt earned. Infidelity. The word hovered but never landed. I carried my wife home, put her to bed, sat in the dark beside her like a guard. She woke briefly, cried, reached for me. I let her hold my hand. Inside, I felt nothing. That scared me more than rage would have. Details began to surface on their own. Late gym sessions, errands, a second phone charger in her car. I hadn't been blind. I'd been efficient at not looking. Denial isn't loud. It's meticulous. That night I didn't sleep. I planned. I became observant. Not suspicious. Observant. I memorized patterns, times, expressions. The way guilt leaked when she thought I wasn't watching. I pulled phone records under the guise of a billing issue. I backed up her laptop while she showered. I never confronted, never accused. Calm is disarming. I learned about hotel rooms paid in cash, messages deleted but not erased, a shared cloud folder with a name that made my jaw tighten. More than sex. A life. I ordered a DNA test for our son. Not because I doubted him, but because I needed to know how far the lie stretched. Waiting for the results was easy. I'd already stepped outside myself. At dinners, I smiled. At work, I excelled. Inside, something dark and precise was assembling. Revenge wasn't loud in my head. It was orderly. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday. Plain, clinical. I opened it at the kitchen table. Read it once. Then again, slower. The result was definitive. He was mine. Relief flickered, then hardened into resolve. That evening, I asked my wife to sit with me. No anger in my voice, just gravity. I placed the printouts between us. Phone logs, photos, hotel receipts. A timeline she hadn't realized existed. "I know," I said. She broke. Not screaming, not theatrics, just collapse. Words spilled. Love. Confusion. Mistakes. I listened like a professional. Detached. Accurate. When she reached for me, I didn't move. That was when she understood this wasn't a negotiation. I invited them both over, him and his wife. I told them it was to clear the air. The living room felt like a courtroom. I controlled the pacing, the silence. I handed his wife the folder first. She didn't cry. She read, nodded, absorbed. Her strength impressed me. Then I slid the final document across the table. To him, a notarized statement, a pending lawsuit, proof of workplace misconduct, evidence he didn't know I had. "I already sent copies," I said, "to your board." He went gray. I stood, looked at my wife, really looked. "This is where I get my life back," I said. No shouting, no threats, just consequences, unfolding. They left. The house felt larger with lies echoing off the walls. I packed a bag, took my son to my sister's for the weekend, filed paperwork Monday morning. I don't hate her. Hate requires investment. What I feel now is lighter, sharper, like stepping out of deep water and realizing you can breathe again. Betrayal doesn't end you. It clarifies. Some people lose everything when the truth comes out. Others finally get themselves back. I locked the door behind me and didn't look back.